Okay, live Facebook. Now give everybody's attention, please. We're live on Facebook. Before Sean gets here, we can wave. And I'll come around and you guys can introduce yourself since Sean's not here. And anybody that wants to look at our meeting live can look at our meeting. Okay? So anyway, we'll start over here with Jeff, our secretary.
Hi.
That's Jeff. And Jake, that's right, Jake. And this is Bruce. Here we go. And
League Convention,
let me zoom in on that.
21 August.
Yeah, the AL convention. It's a virtual convention. There you go.
Right. $15,000 worth of door prizes, and you could win a $750 127 millimeter Maxudov Cassegrain.
Excellent.
3 p.m. to midnight, 19, 20, and 21 August.
Okay, excellent.
All virtual, all free. Normally you'd have to fly to Wyoming and deal with lots of masquerades right now on airlines, but this year you don't have to.
Can you read the website or whatever they have to zoom to get there?
alconvirtual.org.
alconvirtual.org, and then that'll take you to the to the Zoom site or wherever that is.
Right, and we've also posted all this information on the BBAA Facebook page.
Great. Very good. Thanks.
So the detailed schedule is listed at that website, alconvirtual.org.
Excellent. Bruce is our AL representative, Astronomical League.
So
very good.
Normally this is in New Mexico or Wyoming, but it's free this year, and it's a lot of fantastic speakers, so check it out.
Super. Thank you. Thank you very much. Oh, here's Sean. I just started the live thing because I'm just trying to kill time before you get here. This is Sean, our president, and he's just getting set up to start the meeting. So he's getting set up here. So if you guys want to introduce yourself and be live on Facebook, or if you don't want to, that's okay. I'm just going to come around and pan you anyway. So you don't have any choice. You're going to be on Facebook. You're already live, so you don't have to sign a disclaimer or anything because I'm putting you on there anyway.
It's kind of like my vaccination.
Yeah, I got my
but it
card.
says Back Bay vaccination.
That's right. I got my card.
I need proof to my wife that I'm actually here.
Okay, Bob. How you doing? This is Bob. How you doing?
This is Mike.
Mike? Very good. Excellent.
Help yourself. These are leftovers from the
Sam.
picnic.
Hi,
Gabriel.
Sam. Sam and Gabriel. Okay, very good. We got chips left over here. All right. Yes, sir.
Tom Sershon.
Tom Sershon, welcome.
Hi, Justin Mason.
Justin Mason, who is sponsoring us, and he's given us our free passes for the. I hope you guys parked in the right parking lot. We did.
Good.
Thank you. Thank you very much. All right. I'll get off the spotlight here and let Sean do his thing.
Darn it. Fancy equipment.
Can you guys see me okay? Does everybody see me? Can you hear me fine?
Well, the
Okay.
recording mic's over there on the podium. I didn't know if you were going to be there or not.
I am. I'm going to stand right here. I guess I'm good, Justin. Thank you. I've got one if you need it. All right. Let's go ahead and get started then. I'm running a little behind because I was handing out the passes outside. Welcome to the August meeting of the BBAA. Let me pull up my agenda here. George is not going to be here tonight.
Right.
By the way. Justin, do we have the capability to pull up a browser, a web browser? If you could go to the backbayastro.org, I will walk through our calendar of events for George. George got called out of town on a camping trip and is sorry he's going to miss this meeting, but that's how life is, right?
He took his telescope. It's a nice clear night
I
tonight.
hope he did.
Yeah, well, that thunderstorm blew everything nice and clean now.
You should have saw us the other night when we were huddled under a tent while it poured on.
Yes.
At that National Night Out event. The little kids kept trying to take all George's stuff too. What? Like, they're taking his binoculars, like hanging off his telescope.
What?
It was kind of crazy.
Higher security?
We may have to next time.
Now tell us where we are, Sean.
We're at the, I actually cannot pronounce the name of the new planetarium. Michael and Kim. Michael K.T. Lay Planetarium. This is new digital theater and planetarium that ODU has built. It's not even open to the public, and we got invited to come here tonight and see the facility, do a field trip, as Justin said, and I know I'm looking forward to it. I hope everybody else is excited as I am to be here.
Definitely.
Will you get a demonstration? Oh, yes. Yeah.
Welcome. Go ahead and have a seat wherever you like. Yeah, this is very cool. It looks like a real nice facility. Go to our club website. No worries. We're already run behind. As long as you don't care, we don't care. If you're going to kick us out at 9 o'clock, then we need a... Actually, I could have pulled it up on my phone, too. I actually have a good cell service on here. Let me see.
Yeah, I was surprised that we do have cell service inside. You don't have yours? I got
Oh,
Verizon.
I was surprised I do, too.
Yeah, I got 4G. It's working good.
And I've got the calendar here, if that's what you're looking for.
I was able to pull that too. Justin, if you're having technical difficulties, I just got it pulled up on my phone. Okay. Well, as soon as you get it, we'll go to you. All right, I'll start off. On the 6th, we have Corn Watch over at Cornland Park. And on the 7th, we have Night Watch at Chapokes. And on the 12th is Garden Stars. If you guys don't know, that's up at the Norfolk Botanical Gardens. It's pretty good. Small group. Second Corn Watch of the month is on the 13th.
There we go.
Oh, here we go. And
Get it a little bit bigger
Boardwalk
here.
Astronomy on the 17th.
Yay.
Maybe this time we can cut it out.
I'm hoping. If you guys haven't come out to that one, try to make it. That's a good event. Especially to get your feet wet dealing with the public. Saturday, Sunday on the 21st. And there probably will be quite a few more people there than normal, I'm hoping, because we seem to be generating a lot of interest in the Senate prior events now. Let's see, Skywatch on the 28th at Northwest River Park. And then we go into August. I'm not going to read the August events, except for the club meetings on the 2nd. And that will be back at TCC.
Right.
Question, Sean, on the 21st, the Ghent market has been canceled.
Yes.
People that have,
Yeah, if you guys are planning on going to the Ghent Market Shop on the 21st, they did cancel that. And technically, there is another event on the 21st that is pending
Great Navy,
up at the Navy base.
maybe something.
Yeah, it's a Great Navy campout or something like that. And they emailed us a while back. George thought he had emailed them and forgot. And so he sent the email to them, and we're waiting on a reply to see if they want us to come out there. I don't know. It's Norfolk, so the viewing's probably not going to be great. But they want us to stay like late, so we'll have an opportunity to be at a park that I've been in NOB before, and I never even heard of the park. So hopefully it's good. Like Breezy Harbor or Harbor Point, something like that. I never even heard of it before, but I think it's out by the runway. Mm-hmm.
There's a couple that was put up before you get up to the piers. There's like the Iowa Point, where they have the memorial there, and there's open picnic areas.
Well, actually, since I'm logged in my phone, I can pull it up.
Park over by, on the other side
It is called Breezy Point Park.
Yeah, that's over on the east side of the base by, just off of 64.
Yeah, I mean, they look dark for the base, but it is still Norfolk. So, take with that what you will. All right, let's go on to, next we have the secretary report with Jeff.
If you guys want to read the notes on the website, go ahead. The last meeting was at the picnic, which turned out really well. We had plenty of food. And plenty of door prizes, I think. But the notes were written up and they've been posted to the website.
Thank you, Jeff. The treasurer report, I didn't see Rich here, is he? No. Okay, we'll get that from Rich and post it up on the website. Let's see. Ben's not here, but we don't have a scholarship report right now anyway. So we'll go into the Alcor report with Bruce. I know he's here. And he needs 5 minutes to do this.
Or less.
Or less.
Okay. All right. Good evening, everybody. So I am the Astronomical League Coordinator for Back Bay Amateur Astronomers, and I am here to push tonight the very high-quality annual convention for the Astronomical League that is virtual this year, so everybody in this room can participate. They're got August 19 to 21 are the dates, and you can go to alconvirtual.org, and that's listed here on this flyer for you. Normally this convention is in New Mexico or Wyoming, and you'd have to spend a lot of money and get a hotel room and fly out to get all of this high quality programming. But through the miracles of Zoom, as we've all known for the past year and a half, they converted this entire agenda, which is very dense with some fantastic speakers, for 3 days. Each session starts at 3 p.m. in the afternoon and proceeds until midnight. So they figure that everybody that's an amateur astronomer is good at staying up late. So all of those presentations are there. And there's some really good presentations. I have a copy of the schedule here if you'd like to inspect it, but it's also all listed there on alconvirtual.org. Just go to the pull down that says schedule. It'll all be available there for you. So the speakers range from the discovery of pulsars in context, galaxies, the cosmic web, poetry in the universe, and near-Earth asteroid occultations. The founders of SLU, if you're familiar with the worldwide web-based robotic telescopes in Spain and the Canary Islands, is going to be speaking there. And Dr. David Levy is going to be speaking of Comet Shoemaker-Levy fame, if you're familiar. So multiple Astronomical League awards will be presented, everything from the Library Telescope drawing up through the best website, which we've won in this club due to our president here. And we've also won the best newsletter for our past newsletter. So there are roughly $15,000 worth of door prizes being handed out, which is pretty great. And Back Bay Amateur Astronomers are sponsoring a $200 prize of a hardbound copy of Byrne's Celestial Handbook. So yours truly will be handing that out probably Friday afternoon virtually. And the grand prize is an Explorer Scientific 127 millimeter Mac Sudol Cassegrain worth $750. And you have a chance to win that if you just register, and so your virtual red ticket goes in the virtual bucket. So this is a fantastic opportunity. There's some, no kidding, actual recent scientific results from some national credentialed scientific researchers are presenting the results of this. I've looked at the schedule and we'll go into all of it for you, but from NASA to some major universities and multiple amateur projects as well, to include amateur telescope making. So this is a really fantastic opportunity. Normally, I don't think many people from our club have gone to this because it's usually way out west. But check it out this year, and I gave out propaganda on the way in. Is there anybody that does not have a flyer? Okay. Everybody else? Great. So I'm pushing this pretty hard, but this is a fantastic opportunity. So everybody have a flyer. All of this is also posted on our Facebook page. And the schedule, again, is there. And I hope everybody has a good conference. Okay, thanks.
Thank you, Bruce.
Thank you very much, Bruce. On a side note, I don't know if you saw, but the new pin for the 75th anniversary for Last Astronomical Lead, did you get one already?
I did.
Okay. They are for sale. If you guys want one, they're limited. All right. So the next one is the Triple RT report. And since Bert isn't here, I will do that real quick. As you can see, this is Fan Mountain. If you guys are familiar with this telescope, Norfolk State University and the University of Virginia operate this telescope, and because our club has helped them a lot with this telescope, they let us use it as much as we want. And if you want to be able to take astrophotography with this telescope, let me know. I'll get you in touch with a guy named Bird who sets up your account, and you can take pictures using the telescope. And I just looked on Skynet, which is a cool name for a robotic telescope, and it says that the weather's bad and the dome is closed, but it looks like it's operating. So this is how we tell if it's working, because for a while there it was kind of hit and miss. But it seems to be up, so that's good. And you can look at the nice picture of Fan Mountain there.
And all these are links off our website, right?
Yes. If you, anything I'm covering, I basically have put it on the website. If you think it should be on the website, send it to me and I'll put it there. All right. That's all the reports we have. Old business. Anybody have some old business? Okay, I do. The t-shirts. I spoke with John today at Cavalier Sportswear, and I don't know what's going on with their emails over there, but he said he had not received an email from me again. You know, I talked to a lady who worked in his office, and she said, she called me or emailed me back and said, I got the email. But John hadn't got it. So he called me back after I resent him the order again, and he said that he thinks he can get all the wicking t-shirts and the polo shirts except the white. I think someone ordered a white one, and he said there was only one listed in his suppliers, but it is supposed to be one, so he's supposed to get it. The hats, if you ordered a hat, and you're watching this on Facebook Live or in here, they're on back order. He asked me if I wanted to keep it on back order, and I said yes. They must have the hat, they've ordered it, so we'll wait until it comes in. So he's hoping that we'll have the t-shirts ready for Boardwalk Astronomy coming up, but there's no guarantees. Hopefully, if they are ready, I will pick them up and take them to the event. So if you order a t-shirt, you can meet me out on the boardwalk. I'll give it to you. I'll let you guys know in email though if we get one, if we get the t-shirts before then, so you don't waste your time to drive out the boardwalk just for that. Let's see. I haven't heard anything back yet on the Music and Astronomy Ambassador Program. We did submit a, can't think of the terminology, but an agreement, essentially a tentative agreement that we were going to support the program. Okay? So, and I told everybody about that last time. Hopefully the Donald Lebowitz gets the grant and we can be a part of that. The other old business is what we're doing right here, so we don't need to talk about that. We're here, living the dream. Anybody have any new business? Because I don't have any other new business. Alrighty. Last, before I turn it over to Justin, is observer reports. Anybody have any observer reports? No one's been out observing at all?
I mean, the weather's been kind of bad.
It's been raining for a week.
So Tuesday, there was a very brief time before about 9:30 where it was partly cloudy. It was not completely overcast, and so I was like, I'll give it a shot with my calls, give it a shot, and then lug my telescope outside, and I set it up, and I don't know which satellite it was, but I was turning to look at Alvario and Cygnus, and this satellite passes right through the field of view. Only for a second, but it passes right through the field of view. And I can't see it with my eye. I can, but it's definitely okay, that's definitely a satellite that I just saw. And I'm still trying to figure out which one it was. It may have been one of the Skynet ones. I don't know. Yeah, I know it's really lame.
No, it's still cool. I know it's been cloudy. I mean, you and I were at the other event when it rained on us.
That shall not be named.
But you both were out there, and we had to leave. Fortunately, I didn't get soaked that night.
Those of you who weren't there, you don't need to know what happened, because just thinking about it makes me feel very, very miserable.
Yeah, it's been kind of rainy lately. Anybody else have any observing reports?
I had the opportunity to go out to Smith Mountain Lake area and view the Milky Way for the first time in years and years for me. It was incredible. Of course,
I saw the
Clint-
photos you put online. Those are good.
that was taken with this phone, the
It's pretty good for cell phone.
Pixel 4. Yeah,
Very good.
It was a last minute thing. I didn't have a telescope, so. But fortunately, I showed my cousin how to operate an ETX 90, and he had it still in the box, plastic all over it. So of course I was willing and able to show him how the ropes on that. We were able to see Saturn and Jupiter that were incredibly bright.
Is your cousin going to come to the boardwalk now with his telescope? So
Well, it's a long way from there. You'd have to bring a table too because it's a tabletop.
right on.
The sun's been a little active, but, it's in and out, just, there'll be some good spots.
I know the other day we were at Saturday, Sunday, and it was pretty good. We saw some good provinces and one sunspot. So it's definitely picking up from where it was. Yeah, hopefully it keeps going, but it's definitely getting better. Anybody else? What's going on, Bob?
I've done a little research for my 26th at midnight, and you can go out there with your scope, and there's a small group, less than 10, it's no problem. A good place to observe is across from the RV park. You can go right there next to the boardwalk if you want to, maybe even up on the boardwalk. Don't go in the sand beaches close to the sunset. But it's a good place to observe or watch anything that you need, very low eastern horizon.
How was the view to the north?
To the north, it's pretty good also. It's a little bit south of Buckrow Beach where you see the missile launch flowers.
Well, the reason I bring that up is I do kind of have some new business. George and I and Mel went to a lavender farm, and the dates got messed up, and they basically told us it was on the wrong day to come out there. And since we were already there, the person who invited us said we could stay and observe. And so we did. And it had a clear view, 360-degree clear view, except for one tree. And the lady had also told us that if we wanted to come back in the future to coordinate with one of their events they had, and we could just stay later. Well, the person says meteor shower's coming up. And unfortunately, they don't have an event that night. They don't have an event even close to that night, but I emailed her, so there's a possibility that we'll get permission to go up there, but if not there, we're gonna need somewhere close by, and Fort Monroe might be it. I mean, technically, Cornland Park is also another location, but I don't think the city really wants us to go out there if it's not on our Corn Watch day. So whether they do something or say something, I mean, we've gone before. But if it's okay at Fort Monroe,
We'll meet you out there after midnight. And they say if you want to set up a group, depending on what type of group it is, they might charge $50. So,
and they said not after midnight?
if you just want to go out on your own, you can. And 2 or 3 people can go.
If I go somewhere, I want to stay till the morning.
I know. I'm giving you just
No, I appreciate it. That's good. Good to know. I guess we're still on the hunt for another spot. I mean, would you go, Bruce?
So for a temporary spot until we find another spot, Staunton River is on, for Bob's benefit, for October 4th through October 10th, 10 days. So the website is still under construction, but if you'd like to go to a dark sky site and camp, that's sponsored by the Charlotte, North Carolina Astronomy Club, and it's at Staunton River State Park, which is an International Dark Sky Association site, and it's about 3.5 hours west of here, at a very dark location.
Well, that's not too far then.
But, Bob, you can't camp on the field.
I didn't hear you.
You can't camp on the field, you have to reserve a site. Staunton River's on, Bob.
Oh, yeah, and registration's open.
Okay,
If you want to go there, it's $80 for the Monday through Sunday.
okay.
If you want to do Thursday, Friday, and Saturday nights, it's $45, but if you change your mind and want to do the whole week afterwards, they'll charge you $35 or $38. So it's no penalty for just signing up for the last 2 days.
Good to know. Yep. If I hear anything about the lavender farm, I'll let everybody know. If NASA doesn't bring up their night sky network, where I can send one message, I don't even know how they did it before. I had to send multiple emails because it turns out our email client will only let you send to so many people at once. When I tried to send all the club members, it was rejected. So
Wow.
I had to guess how many I could send it to. But if there's no more observer reports, I will turn it over to Justin.
I was going to say I can check on Windsor Park. That's in Heritage Park. Sorry, Heritage Park in Windsor, Virginia. They got a pretty nice dark sky. They let Cub Scouts camp out there overnight all the time. So I can check on that and I'll report back next month.
Okay. Next month, you said?
Well, next meeting.
Well, it's August. It's this month. The Perseids is this month.
The proceeds this month. Okay, I'll let you know next week then.
What date is the peak?
The peak, I think, is on the night or the morning of the 12th, night of the 11th, something like
It's
that.
next week.
No, that's pretty tight.
Yeah.
I'll let you know. I'll let you know in a couple of days.
Okay. All right. You guys got anything else? Anybody else? Speak now or speak later? All right. Thank you, Justin. Do you want me to turn this off or?
I'll get it.
Okay.
So I'll use a microphone this time just because I'm more comfortable with it.
Great.
I get feedback because I have a subwoofer right there. Let me move a little bit this way. There we go. I'm still kind of learning where all my speakers are in the room, so my subwoofer is right there. So forget if I stand in front of it, get feedback. But no, I want to welcome you all to the Michael and Kinthan Lay Planetarium. I guess digital theater and planetarium. Because we could have designed this a little bit differently. I mean, you can see that, for planetariums nowadays, we're designed a lot like the one in TCC. We've tilted the dome a few degrees. The seats are all kind of facing forward. But what that lets us do is we kind of treat this like a digital theater. So the whole idea was to have classes in here. We already have chemistry classes in here 3 days a week for the summer. And so the plan is essentially almost 9 to 5 most days. There are going to be classes for chemistry. Hopefully eventually there'll be biology, physics, astronomy. Everything will be in here. We're kind of letting the chemistry department have first dibs the first 6 months or a year just because we're in their building. And this whole building is dedicated to the chemistry department here on campus. It's 110,000 square feet. I think it's $75 million or more for the building. It's a huge building, but they've designed it with science in mind. I love you walk in the lobby and the first thing you see, okay, there's the molecule lights on the ceiling out there. But if you walk down the hallway, If you look at the ceiling tiles there, the ceiling tiles are even influenced by atomic spectra. So, from the floor to the ceiling, it just everything speaks science. If you go to the back side of the building, the back side of the planetarium and the bricks, I think they use atomic spectra from oxygen, dysprosium, and uranium to say ODU in atomic spectra in the bricks. I mean, that's how much thought they went into this building. It's just they just said that everything we can do, let's do it science related. And chemistry, they were due. I mean, their building was built in 1967. It was one of the oldest buildings on campus. The department is nationally known, but they were bursting at the seams. Like, their graduate students had desks in the hallways. They had no classroom space. So they were due. I mean, they were extremely fortunate to get a building like this. And then with the new planetarium, we said, okay, well, we have a new chemistry building. Well, do we want a new planetarium? Because the original planetarium, Pretlow, was right next to it. They were supposed to be connected. People that went to visit the old planetarium, you might remember, they didn't have restrooms because it was supposed to be connected to the chemistry building 5 feet away, but they weren't connected. So you had to go outside next door. And so it's like, okay, well, if we're going to build a new chemistry building, we want a new planetarium. A little bit of fighting, but not much, because we had transfers of the dean of the college around the same time as we were designing the building. So we had to fight just a little bit for it, but she came from physics, so it wasn't too bad of a fight. And so we kind of convinced her, yes, let's get a new planetarium. Let's make it a lecture hall as well. So that way it's not just astronomy. We can teach chemistry in here. We can have classes. We can kind of make this the jewel of the College of Sciences. And so I want to show up a little bit of what we can do, to talk about, the place, the donors themselves. I guess while our projectors are going to heat up here for just a second, Allie, can you turn those on for me? You'll hear them kick on here for a second. The fans will get kind of high, then they'll kind of quiet back down just a little bit. But the donors, Michael and Kim Van Lay. Michael, he was an alumni of ODU. He graduated in 1980 with a computer science degree. He was a refugee from Vietnam in 1975. Came to Norfolk, essentially was sponsored by someone in the Army, and they were able to kind of give him money to sponsor him and get him to ODU to get him a degree. And he's opened and sold several businesses at this point with his computer science degree. He had a fair amount of money for himself. And then he lives in Raleigh, North Carolina, so he's not too far away. Was wanting to figure out how to give back to ODU since he had recently sold another business. And so his was like, okay, well, he loves digital theaters. He has his own theater in his house. I haven't seen it, but he loves all the technology that went into it. He helped design his own theater in his house. So he was kind of made a quick connection with this, and we said, okay, it's going to be for lectures, hall. So it's going to be for students, for many different sciences. And so we just kind of quickly made a nice connection with it. So he fell in love with the project right away. And so he was able to donate and get his name on the building. So hopefully we can have this place for another 50 years or more like Pretlow. That building was there from 1967, and it's still there. It's not an operation. If you all want to know, we're probably going to end up kind of selling or the seats, the original seats from 1967. If you've been to the Chesapeake Planetarium, they're the same kind of curved benches, like the 7-8 foot long seats, vinyl. We have those. We have 28 of them. We're probably going to do if you donate to us, we give you one kind of thing. We can't call it selling. So we may do a donation with a gift in kind kind of thing. I don't know. We're still working out those details. But if you have space for one, you can get a relic, a kind of classic planetarium seat as well. So hopefully in the next few months we'll have that info kind of on our website. So what I wanted to do now was to kind of show up a little bit of what the dome can do. I know many of you have probably seen the planetarium at TCC. Same company designed this one. So that's why it looks very similar, but we also wanted to be able to serve students in kind of the same fashion of what they're doing. We did go a little bit bigger with the dome. We have 48 feet side to side, which I believe, I'm like 99% positive that makes us the second largest planetarium in the state. The only one that's larger is up in the Virginia Science Museum. That one's 76, so it's huge. And it's also tilted 30 degrees, almost like a stadium in there. So let's just kind of hit play, a little 4-minute video here, set the music, just kind of showing off some of the graphics and what this can do, and then afterwards, if we want to go see more things, while you all are here, I'm in no rush to leave, so we'll stay here for a while and show off fun molecules, 3D molecules or proteins or constellations, or go look at a black hole or whatever. That's kind of what we're here for. Just kind of have fun. So
Probably carpet the sleeping bags.
you got to sleep back. All right. Classes tomorrow start at 11 a.m. So as long as you're out by then, I'm okay with it.
I'll blame Brian.
All right. So we'll go ahead. We'll hit play, and lights will turn down. We're good to go.
Very nice, I thought.
Right, so it's kind of a little taste of what it can do. As you can see, we have things for anatomy, biology, chemistry. There's even things pre-built into the system for art. So the art department can come in, put the lights off. So what I'm going to do is let's go ahead and put up the nighttime sky in general. This should be coming up here in just a second. There's our sky. There we go. Star. This is one of the leading digital software programs for planetariums in the world, really. The largest one in the Western Hemisphere out at Liberty Science Center in Jersey. They use, I think, Digistar 6, because 7 just came out less than a year ago. So we're one of the few places in the country that has 7 already, so we're one better. They're just, they've added more capabilities. There's a few more things that it can do, a few things it can do easier than the old versions can do. The projectors we have, they're 4K each, so we're kind of projecting 4K for half the dome. They're laser-based projectors. They're some of the newer technology of laser-based. They skip the phosphor layer that a lot of them used to use. So these are, the technology for these is these projectors came out in June of last year, so they're still, technology is really new, but that lets the lamps potentially run for 30,000 hours. So hopefully the diodes in this will last a good decade or more before we ever have to even think about replacing them. So, I want to sit here and kind of give like the typical spiel of like an astronomy show, because you all know probably more constellations than I can sit here and name. So I want to take requests. Like, what do you all want to see? Anything from the video you want to repeat, or anything specific you want to see? Just kind of test this out. Let's see what we can do.
What exactly does this program allow you to see? Like with stars in it, I see it like Jupiter in the center of there. And of course, it's all stars. But you go like even deeper than just that.
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah, of course. So essentially what we're looking at is the software makes a 3D model of the universe. And for the Milky Way itself, it mostly uses the Gaia catalog, which I believe has close to 1 billion stars in it, to kind of make a volumetric version of the Milky Way, which we can fly out of and then show to many different galaxies or show a lot of the satellites around Earth. So let's do that. Let's kind of stick to Earth for just a second. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell it to kind of fly out and look back at the Earth here. Actually, I can't do this from here. I had to go back to the console in the back, but... So let's do something here with this. Once we get a good view of the Earth,
You control it all from your tablet there?
yeah, from the tablet here, and I have an Xbox controller. I meant to bring that with me too.
That's cool.
I guess I didn't introduce her. That's Allie back there, kind of helping me out tonight. Allie is an undergraduate in the physics department. So she's a physics major, I think also engineering. So kind of double major. She's talking about switching to astrophysics now that ODU has an astrophysics degree starting this fall. Yeah, everything's controlled. I've just got like an iPad here running it. I've also got an Xbox controller, so you can play video games. You can actually fly around kind of 3D, whatever planet you want to go throughout the galaxy or even the universe. But I want to see, is it? With a button I'm looking for, because I've only had this a few months, so even I'm still kind of learning what this system can do. There we go. Let's turn on some of the satellites here. So every green dot's a satellite. And let's get time going forwards for us as well here, because they do move in real time. Let's back out just a little bit for us.
You can see the geosynchronous too. We're on the equator.
Geosynchronous kind of on
Yeah.
the line there.
Amazing.
So these elliptical satellites going in.
Amazing.
Okay, so those are just some of the satellites, but let's make it a little busier up there. Let's kind of build up to that idea of the Kessler syndrome, where we kind of stick ourselves on Earth, or how do we get out into space at some point. So let's do some of the satellite debris. Let's add in another color. There's debris that's up there floating around that we know about. Or rocket debris. Let's add a third color. Imagine all of those are moving thousands, tens of thousands of miles per hour. It's quite a bit. Add a fourth color, through orbital debris. And the software is processing all this in real time. So it's doing the calculations and everything in real time for us. And yeah, and some of the major advancements with the new version of the software and especially graphics processors for computers, we only have 3 computers running all this in the back. That's it. TCC, I mean, theirs is not that old, but they have 9, I think, that has to run everything. And it's only like 4 or 5 years old. That's how much technology has changed, is we can cut the number of processors down by a factor of 1/3. So you need less energy, you need less power, less heat, dissipation, everything to run these computers. So the technology in this is changing drastically. Okay, well, let's take it a step further. Let's leave the Earth behind here for a second. Let's go out to Saturn instead. Those are my favorites to do in here. Again, we're kind of doing all this in this one giant 3D simulation. And, okay, so there's Saturn, the big white dot. Going to fly a few million miles we get there. So it takes a second. Oh, there we go. All right.
Is this real-time orbital data for you too? Is everything real-time?
Most of it is, but not all of it. Because at some point, you can't update the system every single day with new information. So, but there are large packages that do get sent and updated every so often.
You see the hexagon too?
Yes, yeah, that was a good hexagon. I know our old system, we couldn't see it very well, just with the resolution limit we were at with the old planetarium.
Yep.
Yeah, the hexagon is there. And because I have time running forwards, I do have it spinning as well.
Right.
We get time running kind of at normal speed here. I think we're running 10 minutes per second or so. There we go. One of the things that really impressed me with this system, whenever I started seeing the software use at different conferences, was let's go into the rings. Because our old software just kind of put, because it was run by one computer, the best thing you could do was kind of putting an image of the rings straight up around it. But this one,
Are you doing that with the joystick?
yes, just with the joystick. Yeah. It's kind of hard. It's kind of hard from right up here on it.
Yeah, that's still cool.
So let's get into the rings though, because it will switch to like an individual rocks. There we go.
Amazing.
What I need now is some million call pages.
Right.
Star Destroyers.
I haven't gotten it to work because it was written for Digistar 5 or 6. There is a module somebody built because there's a cloud library. So if we create content or a model or whatever we want for this system, we can put it on the cloud in another planetarium with Digistar. We can go download it and then play whatever we create. So they did create where the Stardust or the Death Star comes in, we pick a planet and it like blows it up. TIE fighters fly in and it plays like the theme song and everything.
Oh, that's cool.
But since we had the newest version of the software, it doesn't quite want to work because some of the notations or the language in the software is a little bit different. I need to sit and kind of play with that one.
Justin, did they program the Shepherd satellites and they switch rings and stuff like that?
Oh, I don't know for sure. Let me see if I can get what satellites are on. Oh, I do that from back there. I have to type in the command for Saturn, Moon on.
Yeah.
I don't have that button pre-programmed. So I'm not sure, but honestly, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, this is software that I can't remember the first version, like Digistar 1, when it came out, was like 1994, 96. So they were preliminary astronomy software for planetariums for 25 years now. So I would not be surprised, honestly. I don't know for certain. All right, well, let's leave this behind a little bit here. Let's see what else we can do. Speed up some more. Let's see if I can get some more of the planets up for us. There we go. There's the sun, a few other planets for us. Let's do asteroids at this point. So let's just do all of them. And so all the different categories I have here, and we've got Apollo asteroids, distant asteroids, Hilda, Trojan asteroids. So they're each colored differently. It's kind of said, okay, turn them all on. Yeah, it's a lot of data. So I think this is going to be around the dome a little bit better position for us. No, I'm upside down. Back around towards the middle of forest here, so it's easier in your neck. Practice my video game skills.
I was gonna say, you know, parents were worried about their kids playing video games.
Right, but it comes in handy. The donors came in here a few weeks ago, and their youngest son, he's an undergraduate at UNC, I believe. So he's 19, 20, 21, and I was trying to fly around, and we were trying to find their house, because essentially we had Google Earth as we take off from the Earth. And so we were trying to find their house in Raleigh, and I was like, I don't know where I'm going. Do you all want to try? I gave it to him 5 seconds later. He's like, yeah, I got it. And just took off and found it. It's like, probably, I'm sure, decades of playing video games came in handy that day. Okay, so that's our asteroids. Let's leave those up there. Let me see if I can get the orbits for our planets on. And I don't know, let's see. There we go. There's all of them. Now let's do, let's see, where's my button? I'm going to find the Kuiper belts. So we get Kuiper belt objects too. And if I were to run time forwards, which I can't do fast enough from here, but from back there I could, these objects actually do orbit in their model as well.
That's a lot of data.
That's a lot of data. Well, let's do the Oort cloud. Let me do the Oort cloud as well. Now, I think the Oort cloud, I don't believe we actually know of all of those. I could be wrong. They might be more of a model of a distribution just to kind of show you what the Oort cloud is. Because as I run time forwards, those white dots do not move. So that might be just more like, hey, this is what we know the Oort cloud is like, but we don't actually know those objects specifically. All right, I'm going to do this one from back there. So let's turn all of those off. I don't have a button pre-programmed for this part, but all I'm going to do is start typing in the name to search for it, and let's go to a black hole. We're going to show what they look like in this. So I'm just going to pick, let's do the one, the middle of the supermassive one, the middle of the Milky Way.
Yeah, we're in warp 6.
it's going to get a little bright, just fair warning, because they put an accretion disc around it just so they can show off the effects of light bending. So as we fly up to it here, we'll get a little bright. You can see the gravitational warping. So right along the accretion disc. There we go. So you even have the accretion disk spinning around it, and as we kind of fly around into the disk, you can see how much the light gets bent and warped around from the behind, like from kind of the backside up and around. Again, this is kind of the their model, but it's based on real physics, trying to show off. I mean, that's always the biggest popular, most popular question we get. Is, what happens when you fall into a black hole? And now we can show off a little bit more about it. And then, since I mentioned you can kind of do the entire universe, let's do that. Let's leave this behind.
That's very cool.
There's our Star Trek effect. Alright, there's our model for the Milky Way here. And we can do things like turn on the local group and give them labels. I'm going to increase their size just so they're a little easier to see here.
Why is it proper to have to be behind us?
I know, right? Let's see if we can turn that around a little bit for us. By the way. And those are not the real world size. Okay. Kind of blew them up a little bit larger than normal just so we can see them a little bit better. And again, this is the local group, but what if we do like all kind of bright galaxies here? Let's label those clusters.
We would assume the bigger the text is, the closer they are.
I believe so. I think that's what they are doing because they're kind of adding a 3D label to the cluster, and we're close to that cluster. So,
Yeah, Everder's big.
yep. Get a little further out. I think once we kind of get outside of this realm, we're close to 1 to 2 billion light years out. But then we can start turning on individual surveys. So let's do the SDSS survey, SDSS galaxies. So the Solar Digital Sky Survey. All right. Looks like a lot. It's going to slow down the system a little bit. Oh yeah, now every red dot represents a galaxy. There we go, smoothing out just a little bit. It's a little jumpy. I can restart it at some point. And there's several different surveys we can put on. You can do like the SDSS quasars. So all the quasars detected by Sloan. So now everything gets blue is a quasar. They're all further out. And getting pretty so it usually doesn't get quite this slow just doing this. I still have something turned on, some of all the satellites or something turned on, probably trying to process way too much. Yep, don't want to push it too much. There we go. And then just kind of to leave the universe as a whole, because why not? The software does let us do the cosmic microwave background, so we can simulate kind of a 3D shell of where the CMB is as well. So we're outside of it, and now we're inside, kind of flying around the model. Yeah, we're definitely not just limited to, okay, seeing stars or constellations. We can fly throughout the entire universe, essentially, hopping galaxy to galaxy. Some of them are volumetric models. Some of them are just pictures put up. So we can work our way home here real quick. Oh, yeah, go for it. Yeah, question or something you want to see?
Well, the thinking long with other stars to you.
I think other stars we can go see another star, but since most of them, they're pinpoints of light, we don't have anything great. So if I go to Betelgeuse or something like that, if I fly out to that, it's essentially they just kind of do what they think the outside would look like, but there's still like sunspots, which we know are there. We can't see the sunspots. So just kind of like wrap a generic star model based off the sun around them. It does do a few volumetric. Allie, can you type in? Can you search for Orion? I know there's a volumetric model of the Orion Nebula. No, I think we're okay. Go to. Next one. No, I don't know the version. Let's find out. I know there's a volumetric version. I don't remember if this is the one we clicked on was the volumetric one or just the image. Let's find out. Looks like we chose the image version, so let's see. We kind of put a 2D image kind of floating out in space. Swap that over for you. Let's see if the other one, if we can bring up the model for it. There we go. So they do have a few volumetric versions of a few different nebulae. So yeah, I'm going to quickly pick Orion since I know it's one of the ones we have. I can't remember how many they have in there. requests, questions? Yeah, that's what we got. Oh, unfortunately, no. Yeah, like, so we did a full, like 3D simulation of the Big Bang or anything. No, at least not pre-built, not that I know of. Again, I haven't checked the cloud library. Maybe somebody has a video at least. Right. Yeah, I mean, computationally, that might just be too much for something like these, but I mean, there might be a version of the cloud that is a video by chance, or if there's a video, we can toss videos up there pretty quickly and easily. Oh, dark matter? I don't know if they account for that though. I don't know if they're doing dark matter in these yet. Right. I mean, you never know with things like this. They might be working on it, like how to account for something like that. I have no idea, unfortunately.
I got one.
Yes, way up front.
Can we go into Jupiter and maybe look and see how many the moons that you guys are able to see?
All right, I'm going to pick it to fly to Jupiter, and then I'm going to go back there and type in and tell all the moons to turn on, because it doesn't do all of them right away. So let me hit Jupiter here. Let's fly to it, and while we're flying, I'll go get prepped. The moons.
It's a long ride back to our solar system.
Big time.
All right, so there's Jupiter. We'll back out just a little bit. That's why our system was slowing down. I still had all the orbits on. All right, so let's back out a little bit. I'm going to see if I can get the moons up here. Let's get... These are markers. There we go. A little busy, we probably put all the trails on. So I don't know the number we have. We got quite a few though. So the most recent number I see, 2017, J9, off to the left. The most recent catalog number I see is in 2017. I do see a 2018 up there right now. So I don't know if we have every single one.
Keep finding more and more. So.
side of Jupiter here. Request? Anything else? Also, don't want to keep you too late or anything. Yeah, let's go up here first.
I would like to go to the Triangular Galaxy M33. Yes.
Allie, can you search for triangulum for us?
M33.
N33? Okay, yeah, so before we leave, let me see if we can get time going forward real quick here. Lock onto it, moving with it. So I don't think it actually has the gas swirling, because even if we're moving with it, the gas should still be moving and swirling within it. So it might just be, my guess is there might be a static image that they've wrapped it around with. So it may not be currently updating with actual weather data on there. It may be like a static image that gets updated every so often. Galaxy M33. Fly 2, yes, please. Right through Jupiter. Whoa. Using the system's a little smarter to not fly through things like that, but
You see the Pleiades right there. See the Pleiades. Nice.
so they just kind of have a 2D image out there for it and not a volumetric model. Check that. Where they get their images, I'm not quite sure. I mean, I don't know if most of them are likely NASA. I know some software they'll use amateur astronomers that can took its images and give permission to the software companies to add them in. I don't know, since it doesn't give me the information about it there, who took this photo. Pluto, I believe it does. Yeah, I can check that one out too. Give this one just a few more seconds. See, a few people taking photos of it. Just as long as they don't pretend, oh, I took this photo. The sky wasn't clear, but I got this one somehow. Yeah. Let's see if we can get out to Pluto. Right. I'm looking for it in the solar system. I'm finding it here. I just have to do it from right there. I'm going to figure out where it's at. There's so many tabs on this thing. There we go. Let's see if we can sort of. We have left the Milky Way. We're going to have to fly back and turn around to it. Now, a lot of this flying here, this is just me telling the system to go. It's not me with the controller. Not that precise with it yet. Was that our line nebula? I think still was kind of turned on, flying around over there to the left. There we go. There's Pluto. And they do allow us to kind of work with the atmosphere. So I can turn it on, off. I can change different characteristics about it: particle size, scattering amounts. See if I can get time to fast forward here. So we're going to rotate with it. We're going to rotate underneath of this. We're going to rotate with it. Let me try something here. We're still kind of rotating with it. There we go. There we go. I'm not sure how long a Plutonian day is. Okay, let me show one more. Let me see if I still have the script I wrote for this one. All right, so let me put it up there while I'm finding this. Give me just a second. There we go. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and fade this out. So what we're going to do now is, this is a script that they taught us for training on the system. And so what it's going to do is we're going to simply add the New Horizons probe back in 2015 and do a flyby of Pluto. I had to play this in a couple of months. I don't remember exactly how fast we do some of this, because this was all during training, so we were doing quick edits to it. I think we're running at like 300 times normal speed. There we go. And it's not the exact location of everything, because the positions and everything for the planets and moons are updated every so often using newer data. And so sometimes going back in time a few years, the positions of like where Charon is or Nix or something, it's not exactly what it used to be back in 2015, because we've updated newer data. So by the time it runs back a few years and does new calculations based on current data, they're not exactly what they need to be. But it does have the spacecraft orientation built in to the software. So we can put spacecraft up, tell it to run through, and it says, oh, this is where that spacecraft was, what it was doing, where it was pointing at this time. It does have a nice little spiral here, just coming up in a few seconds. running 300 times normal speed, like it says there. And this is the spacecraft turned out 40 different sensors as it passed by. There it goes. Not sure why they did that move. I'm trying to think of that move. Alright, let's fade all that out again. And I'll bring the lights up a little bit, because again, I don't want to keep everyone too long. Some of you are like, oh, you want to get home, it is 9 o'clock. So let me bring the lights up a little slow. Yeah, this is kind of, gives a little taste of what these systems can do nowadays and just how much processing power they have. I mean, if everything's built around 3D simulations and 3D models, it's just a kind of your imagination and how much time you have to say, okay, well, what kind of projects can I do with this? And so you can see a software company like this, I mean, they build planetariums. I mean, they came in and we physically put the projectors in place. The one back there was 300 pounds lifting it up. So they have people on the ground installing these things. They have a whole core of engineers, like software engineers, making the software and getting it to run. Because I mean, they want to be the premier planetarium company in the world, and they're very quickly doing it. So I've been very impressed with this the entire time. You got a question or comment?
Have you been approached by the modeling and simulation department yet over in the electronic computer science program?
No, but I've been meaning to reach out to them. Because I figured that they would want to come in, they would love to be able to do something like this.
They will find you.
Yeah. Yeah, I just, they're on my list of like people to reach out to. Like right now, I know with a lot of faculty, like during summer, a lot of faculty are not on campus.
Yeah.
At least not as much. And there's less students too. So I've had the physics department's been out, oceanography has been out, biology's coming out next week. So we're kind of slowly introducing this as more faculty get on campus.
Virginia Modeling and Simulation Center, EMAS, they will find you as well.
Yeah, I know. I'm reaching out to George McLeod. He does ArcGIS data on campus. He does a lot of simulations for modeling tidal flooding in Norfolk. And so we can take the model of the Earth and kind of slap on his information and show tidal flooding on our model. So I mean, it's one of the things we're working with a lot of people on campus. At least a couple people now, but we're trying to reach out to them.
It's very impressive software.
Yeah, it really is. I was impressed with it, seeing it at conferences years ago, and so I kind of knew whenever we were talking about building this place, I was like, I know what software I want, and like never could look at another one. I mean, you go to conferences. I mean, don't get me wrong. Other software does some very impressive things, but I knew Digistar was what we wanted. Just it's versatile, and it's very you can kind of formulate it how you want. Because everything I'm running here are web pages, so I can go through and create a web page design with whatever buttons I want. So I don't have to go with their preset ones. I can say, well, I don't want that button. Okay, let me just make a new page. That button's gone. I can replace it with whatever I want. So I can build a page for whatever exactly I want to talk about that day. For every single show, I can have my own page. And then I can also, my student workers can have their own whole version of the program with their own pages. So like everyone, you can just kind of create a lot of customization for whatever you want to do with it.
Yeah, thank you for inviting us out.
Yeah, and hopefully you'll get to come out a bit more often. So, I guess thanks for coming out, everybody. I don't know if you have any final words to officially gavel and close the meeting or not.
I do have to gavel.
You must gavel.
Before I did that, I forgot to show you guys, this is the new sign that we'll be taking to Skywatch. If you guys saw the heavy one, that was the big metal one. That thing barely fit in my car. I was worried it was going to rip out the upholstery because it's about this tall and it's solid metal. That one that was out at by the road. So my daughter loaned me her vinyl cutting machine, and I made this one. So you'll see this at most of our events now.
Good job. Good job. Very nice.
Has anybody got anything else to add? Questions?
Thanks
All right.
for setting this up, Sean.
No problem. Thanks, Justin. Thanks for coming. Meeting adjourned.